Arms. The unspoken answer to the age-old question, do you even lift, bro? Perhaps the most universally respected sign of a gym goer is a big set of guns. The focal point of many golden era physiques, your arms will be the first thing people notice when you walk down the street. And if they're lacking, it doesn't matter how strong you are anywhere else. In this video, we'll go over some tips to take your arms from toothpicks to pythons. In an age of push-pull legs and full body splits, whatever happened to having an arm day? You can't treat your arms like an afterthought and be shocked that they are underdeveloped. Either train them first or have a dedicated arm day where you can truly devote maximum effort to training your arms. Leaving them for the end of your workouts will drastically reduce the quality of your sets. Assuming you are actually training hard on your chest or back, your arms will most likely be a bit fatigued by the time you get to them at the end of your workout. In turn, you'll be using less weight, giving less effort, etc. So if you want big arms, your first step is to actually treat them like a priority. Now, in the same vein of treating arms like a priority, you are also going to want to treat them like any other muscle group and get stronger on your key lifts. Everyone knows that you should get stronger on your bench press if you want a bigger chest. Get stronger on your squat if you want bigger legs. So why is it any different for arms? Nowadays, you don't really see many people actively pushing progression on their barbell curls or overhead extensions. You see everyone standing at the dumbbell rack using the same weights they always use, getting a pump. We're in an era of fake natties who get away with fluff and pump training and science-based gurus who like to get more out of less weight. And somehow, we've lost track of the fundamentals. If you're getting stronger on your barbell curl with relatively strict form, your biceps will grow. It's as simple as that. The same goes for triceps. Get stronger at your press downs and overhead extensions. Seriously, spend some time treating your barbell curl like you would your bench press or your squat and watch what happens to your arms. Now, that doesn't mean go and ego lift. Getting stronger only actually does something for muscle growth if your form is relatively strict. With something like the barbell curl, it is very easy to get cheat happy and start ego lifting, heaving weights that you really shouldn't be using. And look, cheating on a barbell curl is fine to an extent. I'm a firm believer that your form doesn't have to be picture perfect, but try to keep it to at least 70% good, relatively slow on the eccentric, and you'll be just fine. Also, try experimenting with a wide variety of movements. While arm training might appear simple at first glance, there's actually a lot of variety that you can incorporate. When doing curls, consider your elbow positioning. If all of the curling movements you do have your elbow in front of your body, consider something like an incline curl where your elbows will be placed behind the body. This will give you a better stretch and place a greater emphasis on the long head of the biceps. This is important because the long head is what's responsible for the peak of your biceps when you flex. And of course, if anyone's ever asked you to flex before, you know what they mean is your arm. They're never going to ask you to flex your quad or something like that. You can also play around with your grip width on your barbell curls to further emphasize one head over the other. Reverse curls and hammer curls are also great options if you need to add some meat to your forearms. They also hit the brachialis, which sits underneath the biceps. Building that up will push out the biceps to make them look a little bit bigger. There's also a lot of variety when it comes to tricep training. I'd actually recommend that you try out all of the different attachments when it comes to the tricep press down and really find which one feels the best for you. You might find that you prefer the V-bar over something like the rope or the straight bar, and obviously mixing it up every once in a while is good. Speaking of mixing it up, if you're only doing press downs for your triceps, try adding in some overhead exercises. Things like skull crushers, the French press, you can even do overhead extensions on the cable. With these exercises, you can place the long head of the triceps under a greater amount of stretch. Personally, I like to do some press downs beforehand. This way the triceps and elbows are already warmed up and you can really feel the long head stretch. Now let's say you've tried a dedicated arm day and you found that it didn't work for you. Consider trying a higher frequency approach to your arm training. Let's take push-pull legs as an example. For this example, let's assume that you're going push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs, rest. If you wanted to emphasize your biceps, you could flip it around to go pull-push legs, rest, pull-push legs, rest, while also training your biceps on leg day. If you do 3 to 4 sets of biceps each day you train them, that totals to around 12 to 16 sets weekly. Obviously, you could do the same thing for triceps if that's what you want to emphasize. You would just swap the push and pull days. Now, you might not want to train your arms on leg day, but it's really something you should consider if you want to make them a priority. Doing them at the beginning of your leg day won't have much of an effect on the rest of your workout, as arm exercises are not very taxing on the CNS. There's also little to no carryover between your arm exercises and your leg exercises. I'll also say this: don't be afraid to prioritize the muscles you actually want. Typically, if you're going to prioritize one muscle group, something else is going to have to go on the back burner. And we all know for a fact that most guys don't care about their legs as much as they care about their arms. You know, there's this expectation nowadays that if you don't train your legs as much as you train everything else, you're gonna get made fun of. But the truth is, no mentally stable person is going to be commenting on your legs out of the blue, especially if they're even somewhat in proportion to your upper body. Of course, you can lower the volume of any other body part if you want to add extra arm volume to your split. But I know that most of you don't really care about your legs, so I thought that was a good example to use. And at the end of the day, none of this works without consistency. It is something I preach time and time again. You can have the perfect exercises, the perfect split, the perfect plan, but none of it all matters if you can't get in the gym and actually do the work. You see, building big arms isn't complicated. Prioritize them. Get stronger on your arm exercises. Push your sets hard. Do that consistently for a few months or even years, and your arms will have no choice but to grow. Most people are looking for some secret technique or secret exercise that'll get them all the gains right away. But the truth is, most guys with big arms aren't doing anything magical. They're just doing the basics, getting stronger at the basics, and doing it for a long time. So if your arms are still lagging, really take a look at how you're training them. Are you prioritizing them? Are you training them hard enough? Are you really trying to make an honest effort at getting stronger at your arm exercises? And you know what goes great with a big set of arms? A set of broad, well-defined shoulders. If you're a natural lifter who has struggled to grow their shoulders, you can watch my video on shoulder training right here.